Angeles studio. And hey, guys, yes, welcome to the Sweet 16. We made it. 2 11 seeds, a 10 seed, even a 15 seed crashing this party. It's absolutely March Madness. We're breaking down every single Sweet 16 game, and our experts here handing out their slam dunk upset specials. See what we did there. Two of those experts, you know, guys here with me in studio, Dave Weaver and Egros. And
breaking
of course,
some ankles.
We've got our guy on the bird, Andrew Filipponi, joining us from Pittsburgh. And by the way, Pony is the one who picked North Carolina to lose outright in the first round during our last show. You guys remember that? And by the way, that was a shot from our Tar Heel fan producer, by the way, you know. Pony also had some big winners. We're going to get to those a little bit later in the show. And as we get rolling, guys, you all know what to do at home. You can take our experts' information, place your bets right from your phone. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. Check out all the wagers we're talking about on this show and so much more. And get this. FanDuel's giving new users an assist to get started. Just sign up for an account, bet $5 on the tourney. You're going to get $150 in bonus sportsbook credit. That's right. Sign up, deposit money, bet $5 or more, and you'll get that $150 in bonus sportsbook credit. All right, you guys, let's do this and bet these games. We're going to get right to it and tip this show off. And we're doing that. The top seeds left in each of the regions. We're starting here in the West. And here's a look at that region. Number 1 seed Gonzaga still alive. The Bulldogs, who were down 10 at the half in their last game, rallied to beat 9th-seeded Memphis by 4. A great game. The Zags take on 4th-seeded Arkansas now, who's won their 2 tournament games by a combined 9 points. Dave and Ed, we're going to bet this one. Gonzaga is a 9.5-point favorite here. Dave, which side are you backing in this matchup?
Did you guys watch the Arkansas game Saturday?
Yeah, a little bit.
I hope you didn't. It was ugly. Arkansas was 14 for 51, 28% from the field when they beat New Mexico State. You know what happens if you shoot 28% against Gonzaga? You lose by 50. So unless they shoot way better, they've got no chance in this matchup. Another problem I see from Arkansas, they're really not that deep. Note fouled out in the last game, 4 offensive fouls, and Gonzaga has drawn 23 and 25 fouls in their last 2 games. They're deeper. I just don't think Arkansas can afford to get into that foul trouble. They don't have the bench to compete. I think late in the second half, that is going to become evident, and the Zags win by 12.
With your permission, I need to nerd out for just a second. If that's
You
okay.
always have my... Yes, we love when you do that.
Yeah, okay, all right, so here we go. So Gonzaga is number 1 in terms of effective field goal shooting and number 1 in the country in effective field goal shooting defense. That's pretty remarkable when you think about it. And it's also important when you look at Gonzaga's offense to look at stats that are more predictive than others. 3-point shooting and 3-point shooting defense is not that predictive from one game to the next, but 2-point shooting and 2-point shooting defense is predictive. And guess what? Gonzaga is number 1 in those categories as well. They had their bad game. Every team is going to have a bad game in the tournament. Gonzaga had theirs. They don't need to worry about that against Arkansas for the aforementioned reasons. I think Gonzaga covers the big number.
All right, you guys, you can always nerd out anytime on this show. Anytime. Yes. All right, now let's get to the South, guys, where the number 1 seed was also pushed to the limit last round. Arizona won in overtime. Wildcats held off 9th-seeded TCU's upset bid. Another great one here. Arizona will face 5th-seeded Houston, who's won both of their games by at least 14 points. So Ed and Pony, you're up. Arizona giving just 1.5 here in this game. Ed, I'm coming to you for your nerdy pick right now. What you got?
Here's the thing with Arizona. If your strength is not at the point guard position, it's everywhere else with, say, at the 2 with Benedict Mathurin or at the 5 with Christian Koloko. If those are your strengths, then you better be a darn good rebounding team. And Arizona certainly didn't look the part in that last weekend. And now you're going up against a Houston team that, yeah, they're a mid-major, but so what? They can crash the boards about as well as anybody. They're one of the best in the country as far as that's concerned. Josh Carlton, Kyler Edwards, they are studs in that regard in terms of getting additional possessions in case the shooting doesn't happen to be there. I think Houston wins this game outright, Pony.
I disagree. I watched Houston up close in Pittsburgh last week. They look phenomenal. They're very athletic and long. But their issue is that 2 of their best players, 2 of their best players have been out since December. Mark and Sasser. These are guys that were big contributors to their Final Four run. I think Arizona got the bad game out of their system. Well, what I liked about their game against TCU, complementary scoring. We know Mathurin's going to go off. Koloko was 12 of 13. This line is just way too small. Frankly, it's disrespectful to a number 1 seed and one of the trendy picks to win. I'm taking the Wildcats.
All right, guys, let's move on. Get right to the Midwest region. The #1 seed here, still alive as well. The Kansas Jayhawks pulled away in the last minute to beat 9th-seeded Creighton by 7 in their last game. Kansas now gets Providence. The 4 seed hasn't really been tested in this tournament yet, but this will certainly be a big one. Dave and Pony, Jayhawks 7.5-point favorites in this one. Dave, coming to you.
That number seems a little bit big to me. These teams on paper, to me, are pretty even. They both defend the 3 very well. They both hit the glass very well. Kansas shoots the ball better, I'll admit that. But to me, the key to this game is when you look at Providence's starters, all 5 of them seniors. That, in this day and age with the transfer portal and going to the NBA early when you have a superstar, that's just something you don't see in this tournament, Pony. So 5 senior starters for this squad and 7.5 points. I'll go with the experience.
Dave, take that paper and rip it up. Put it in a paper shredder there. Yeah, exactly. Get rid of that, okay?
Now what?
Because everything with Kansas up until the tournament is fake. It's not real. Remy Martin is now healthy for them. This was the preseason Big 12 Player of the Year. The media and coaches thought he was the best player in the league. He had a knee injury all season. He was Kansas's leading scorer in their first 2 tournament games. Guess what? That didn't happen all year. They basically got a great player, a top 10 player in America, healthy for the tournament. That's why they're going to cover against this big-time fraud Providence, Dave. 16 wins by single digits. Take Kansas.
All right, you guys, let's take this fight to the East. The #1 and #2 seeds are both out, so that leaves us here with the 3rd-seeded Purdue, the top-ranked team left in this bracket. Now, the Boilermakers used a 7-0 run to end the game against Texas to win by 10. But the big story in this region is St. Peter's, the 15-seed, shocking #2 seed Kentucky in the first round, and beat Murray State in the second round. Ed and Dave, Purdue giving 12.5 points. Can they cover? Does St. Peter's out of the MAC in Jersey City, New Jersey? You know, everybody's Googling like, where's St. Peter's at? Do they keep it close, Ed? What do you think?
I think they can keep it close. Now, one of the reasons why St. Peter's upset Kentucky is because this was actually kind of a small Kentucky team when you think about it. And this is actually a pretty decent defensive team in terms of block rate, getting to the free throw line, preventing fouls, all that stuff. St. Peter's is actually pretty good as far as that's concerned. Now, Purdue certainly has the size that I think will prevent this from being an outright upset. But in terms of keeping things close, I think St. Peter's defense is going to be able to do that. And so I'm going to give the Peacocks an opportunity to cover a big number.
On December the 8th, St. Peter's lost to an 0-8 St. Francis team, and they were 2-5 at that point. Who would have thought? Here they are 3.5 months later, winning 9 in a row, beating Kentucky, beating Murray State, like you said. Just amazing where they have come from over that span. And they really don't have one guy that dominates every game. They've had 8 different players throughout the season lead their team in scoring in any game. That's just remarkable. So they're deep. They are really a team, and they've got that anything can happen now mentality, which they deserve to have after starting the season as poorly as they did. I think they cover.
All right, guys, let's keep this thing trucking, and that is a look at the top seeds in each region here. We had upset picks and breakdowns for the rest of the games on the schedule coming up. And a reminder for all of our new users, welcome to the FanDuel family. Sign up for an account, bet $5 on the tournament. You're going to get $150 in bonus sportsbook credit. That's right. Sign up, deposit money, bet $5 or more, and you'll get that $150 in bonus sportsbook credit. It is the FanDuel Sportsbook app. And, of course, we had some huge tournament upsets in the first 2 rounds, and picking the right upsets could lead to a big payout. Now, as you know, underdogs are plus money, so let's get some. Time now to pick the Sweet 16 underdogs that will pull off the upset. Dave, you're going to start us off. Give me an underdog that's going to win outright. Give me my money line moneymakers here for the Sweet 16.
Pony already said Providence loves to win close games. They don't blow teams out. They won 16 times by single digits. And when you look at their games by 4 points or less, at the margin of either victory or defeat, they're 7-1 in those games. They won 3 overtime games. When this game is close late, they will pull it out, plus 275 for the upset.
Yeah, never mind Providence has also small wins, whatever. But I like Iowa State to pull off the upset against Miami, and 11 makes it the elite. First off, the Big 12 has been phenomenal as far as this entire tournament is concerned, so I think that matters a good bit. Also, too, Iowa State wins with defense and slowing down the overall pace. I think that helps them in terms of establishing an identity, and it's something that is a little bit difficult to prepare for. So I'm not sure Miami's going to be there as far as that's concerned. Six-year guard Cameron McGusty, he's also good at extending possessions as well in case they have a bad shooting night. Give me the Cyclones for the outright upset.
Let me tell you something right now. Michigan's going to beat Villanova. Okay, they're punching back here. No pun intended. Sorry, Juwan Howard. Hunter Dickinson. This is a guy that led them to the Elite Eight last year. No one's talking about Michigan's experience. They were in the regional final last year. Eli Brooks. They didn't give up a three-pointer in the second half against Tennessee. Villanova's not going to wow you athletically. They got no NBA players. I'm taking Michigan to win this game.
All right, guys, along with picking upsets, another great way to increase your payout is to parlay several wagers to increase those odds. And FanDuel is giving out a special bracket parlay insurance for games in the Sweet 16 and the Elite Eight. Here's how it works. Just place a parlay on the NCAA basketball tournament with at least 3 legs. If exactly one leg loses, you'll get a refund in site credit. The max refund is $25 per day. You must opt in to take advantage of this great offer. You can do it right now. Check out all the details on the FanDuel Sportsbook app or at sportsbook.fanduel.com. So let's get some 3-leg parlays for the Sweet 16 here going. I'm going to get our betting experts to place one spread, money line, and total bet for the next round of games. Guys, we did this last week for the first round of games. You each had 100 virtual dollars to place those bets. We said we'd announce a winner on this show, so drum roll, please. Pony, we called you out a little bit earlier in the show, but, for picking North Carolina to lose. But, we're going to let that slide. Missed that one, but you did hit 2 other bets. Richmond plus 10.5 and the Cal State Fullerton Duke under as well. You profited more than $43 on your 100 virtual dollars. You get a virtual fist bump from me for those picks. You also get to go first for the Sweet 16 picks. So let's hear your spread, money line, and total wagers. Pony, what you got?
Yeah, don't let the producer cut my mic this time. These are good winners. I'm going to take $25 on Gonzaga to cover against Arkansas. Drew Timmy's been phenomenal, averaging 29 points per game this tournament. My next pick, this is so easy. Purdue on the money line. I'm not getting a big payout, but I got to take them to win with 7-4 and 6-10 up front. The slipper doesn't fit anymore for St. Peter's. They're done. And then my $25 total pick is going to be under Villanova, Michigan. Slow the pace down if you're Michigan to win the game. That's what they'll do, and that causes the game to go under.
Well, I'm going to keep the Providence trend going here for me and take them on the spread. I'm not going to play them on the money line, even though I think they will pull off that upset. But I'm going to play it safe, $25 on them, plus a 7.5. I'm with you, Pony. How is Arizona only favored by 1.5, which means the money line here is minus 120? This line should be much bigger than that. I'm going to bet my biggest amount on that, $50 on Arizona just to win this game. And then let's go to Iowa State, Miami. Absolute brick fest, crawl fest. Slow it down, throw up those bricks under $25 on the 133.
Here is another ringing endorsement for Gonzaga, having them covering the 9.5. Look, if Drew Timme is having an off night, which can happen for him, Chet Holmgren will come in, keep that front court going. And don't forget about Andrew Nembhard as well. He's also been fantastic from beyond the arc. For my moneyline upset, another ringing endorsement for the Houston Cougars. You guys don't believe in Houston, but guess what? They are simply phenomenal. Fabian White can take over as far as shooting is concerned. Kyler Edwards can drive to the rim. Houston can score in a number of ways. And then for my total, I want $25 on the over between North Carolina and UCLA. Bruins transition defense leaves something to be desired. North Carolina will also pick up the pace a little bit. So a lot of possessions, a lot of opportunities for some points.
And those bets are all available right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. You can tail our guys or make your own picks. I always say this, you got to do you. And remember about FanDuel's bracket parlay insurance, which gives you up to $25 refund each day if you place at least a 3-leg wager on the tourney and exactly 1 leg loses. Make sure to opt in. You can do it right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app. And right now, I want to bring in another expert to give you some college basketball insight here. Jon Rothstein is the co-host of Inside College Basketball for CBS Sports and content contributor for us here at FanDuel. Here are his thoughts on some of the Sweet 16 matchups.
Hey Lisa, I'm pumped up for this week's Sweet 16 and I can't wait for the games later in the week. If I'm looking to start a parlay, I'm going with Villanova over Michigan. I know that the Wolverines have a ton of momentum and an All-American up front in Hunter Dickinson. But with that said, I still like Villanova. The Wildcats are combined 18-3 in the last 6 NCAA tournaments and have a bona fide closer in Colin Gillespie. If there's one game I'm looking to stay away from, it's the battle in the East region between North Carolina and UCLA. The Tar Heels have played great basketball the last couple of weeks and have a dynamic quartet with Caleb Love, RJ Davis, Brady Manick, and Armando Bacot, but they also are going up against a team in UCLA that returns 5 starters from last year's team that went to the Final Four. Stay away from that one. And then finally, if there's one upset that I would look at, I would look in the bottom right in your bracket and look at Providence beating Kansas. Kansas had to really take things down to the wire to beat a Creighton team in the round of 32 that was playing without its top rim protector in Ryan Kalkbrenner and the Big East Freshman of the Year in Ryan Nembhard. Providence doesn't necessarily have enough on paper to beat Kansas, but they do have enough where it matters most, in their heart. Thanks, Lisa. It's going to be a great Sweet 16. We sleep in May.
No doubt about it. Thanks, John. And you can follow John on Twitter at Jon Rothstein for more college basketball news and notes, and see him here more on this show. Now, I want to let you know FanDuel is teaming up with Visible to help you win money just by watching March Madness and answering some questions about the games. It's the Call Your Shot Pick'em contest presented by Visible, and it's free to enter. Just go to FanDuel.com/free/hub to lock in your answers for the Sweet 16 before the tournament begins. Those games coming up on Thursday. If you get a certain number of questions right, you'll be eligible for a share of the $10,000 prize pool. And hey, if you don't win this round, it's all good. Keep checking back before each round of games for a new set of questions and a new chance to win part of that prize pool. So go to FanDuel.com/free/hub this week and every week before the games start to enter the Call Your Shot Pick'em contest presented by Visible. As always, good luck and have fun. And now we move on because, team, we've got to get back to the rest of the Sweet 16 games on the schedule, starting with some Cinderella teams still left in this tournament. Okay, we picked 15-seeded St. Peter's earlier in the show, so we're headed here to the Midwest region first. That's where we have 2 double-digit seeds facing off. We've got 10-seed Miami, talked about them a tiny bit, taking on 11-seed Iowa State. How they got here? Well, they beat the 2-seed Auburn and the 3-seed Wisconsin, respectively. Let's bet this one, guys. In front of us, Miami is a 2.5-point favorite here. So, Pony, which double-digit seed do you like in this matchup?
I like Iowa State. What a story. Only 2 wins last year. This is going to be a de facto home court advantage game for them with it being in Chicago. And they held Wisconsin to 2 of 22 3-point shooting in their last win. So I think they continue it. They keep it going. They're going to cover.
All right, let's get to the South, where another double-digit seed is looking to make the Elite Eight here. We've got 11-seeded Michigan taking on Villanova. The Wolverines upset Tennessee in the last round. Second-seeded Nova's won both of their games by at least 10 points. Ed, Michigan is getting the Wolverines that cover that number. What is that, 10?
Yes.
Looking at how are you playing this game?
So Michigan is a challenge because they have a lot of length. Moussa Diabate, 6'11", Hunter Dickinson, 7'1", Caleb Houston, 6'8". They use their size offensively, and not only that, they are willing to shoot from beyond the arc. And so any one of those bigs could very well be dangerous in terms of shooting the basketball and also driving to the rim, as you would expect. Villanova, they're good at not fouling. And so if they get beat down low, then they get beat down low. That's what happens. Certainly Villanova, you think about them, you think about their elite 3-point shooting, but it's possible it may not be there in a matchup like this, especially with some creative defenses that Michigan might throw out there. So to me, at +5, I think the Wolverines can cover that.
There you go, Michigan getting 5. You can bet it right now on the FanDuel Sportsbook app as we now switch our focus to the East. It feels weird to call North Carolina a Cinderella, right? But the Tar Heels are an 8 seed. They were underdogs against top-seeded Baylor before pulling off that upset. Carolina now faces UCLA, who's beat St. Mary's by 16 in that last round. Now, Pony, the Tar Heels are getting 2.5. Are you picking against them again? Tell me how you're playing this game.
Yeah. I mean, this is my guarantee. I'll wear one of those Carolina Ram head mascot things on the air in a baby blue sweater if they make the Final Four. It's not happening. They're going to lose this game. UCLA so balanced, 4 players in double figures against St. Mary's, and their star, Jaime Hawkins, had an ankle injury. But Mick Cronin says he's good to go. He's so clutch. UCLA's going to win this game big. Bye-bye, North Carolina.
All right, let's get to the West here. No major upsets in this part of the bracket. We have all chalk, so a traditional 2 versus 3 matchup here with Duke taking on Texas Tech. Both teams were tested in that last round, pulling out late victories, guys. 2 good teams going at it, so it makes sense that this is a very close spread in this one. Duke is getting 1. Dave, how are you betting it?
Yeah, cue up the boys to men's. End of the road for Coach K. This will be his final game as Texas Tech will take them out. A, by getting to the free throw line often. B, by not turning the ball over, because Duke won't cause that many turnovers against his team. And Texas Tech just so physical. They are going to pound this Duke team that has 3 freshmen. That inexperience will be the factor late in this game. Texas Tech with the win.
It's so hard. I'm not going to sing it. Not going to do it. That is a look at all the games in the Sweet 16, but we have plenty more coming up, including our guys giving their updated Final Four picks and also who's cutting down those nets in New Orleans. But first, I want to tell you how you can win part of a $20,000 weekly prize pool plus $10,000 more bonus prizes just by picking winners for this year's tournament games. And it is free to enter. GMC is teaming up with FanDuel for the first ever free-to-play GMC Mountain Climber Contest. All you have to do is log on to FanDuel.com/free/contest/GMC before the men's Sweet 16 games tip off, and then just pick the winners of each matchup. The more you get right, the higher you move up that GMC mountain. You'll be able to see where you stack up against the competition in real time every single day using the GMC Mountain Climber leaderboard. Answer every matchup correctly to get to the top of that mountain and claim your share of the $20,000 prize pool paid in DFS site credit. And just for playing, you also get a shot at that additional $10,000 bonus DFS site credit prize pool as well. So make sure you log on right now, FanDuel.com/free/contest/GMC for the GMC Mountain Climber Contest for your chance to win a share of the $30,000 that are up for grabs here in the Sweet 16. And don't forget to reserve your new GMC Sierra now. GMC.com/future-vehicle/2022-Sierra. Welcome to your GMC life. Good luck in the Mountain Climber Pick'em, and let us know what color is your new GMC. All right, there are 16 teams left competing for the national championship. That means the odds to make the Final Four have changed for all of the teams that are still here in this tournament. So let's bring the guys back in here and put the Final Four futures on the board here. Yeah, guys, a few upsets impacted some of your picks, so now you get another chance here to update your Final Four choices. Dave, start us off.
I'm going to start pretty chalky here with Gonzaga getting through their bracket. We've said that from the beginning, and they haven't won their games by that big of a margin yet. But Drew Timme has just been huge in those second halves. He'll continue to get them there, so that's a little bit chalky. But Pony, get that hat out, get that jersey out. North Carolina is going to the Final Four. Do you realize they're the only team in the tournament with 3 different scorers that average 15 or more points? Nobody else can claim that. They got enough talent to get there. And then let's go to Arizona. I mean, here's another pretty chalky pick, but so deep. Tabellis, Koloko, Mathurin, and they can shoot the 3 as well. There's some chalk. And then end it with Providence. I've been going with them from the very beginning of this show. When they win this game and beat Kansas, they play a 10 or an 11 seed. So the path is there. If they can win this Sweet 16 game, they'll win their next game as well.
Absolute shocker for my pick coming out of the West. Give me Gonzaga. That up-tempo style that they play is really, really difficult to recreate in practice. And I feel like Gonzaga, they will wear you down at some point, even if it is in the second half. As for the East, I like UCLA here. Let's take it close to home in our LA studio, shall we? Bruin defense will get pesky. They will force turnovers. Certainly the transition offense leaves a little to be desired, but I feel like that defense is why UCLA will make it to the Final Four again. In the South, I am taking Houston at 2-1, in large part because they can score in so many different ways. They also rebound really well, and they're one of the best teams in America at second chance opportunities. So they get additional possessions and eventually score off of them. And then finally in the Midwest, I have chalk, rock chalk. Give me Kansas at -200. Offense can finish around the rim. Ochai Agbaji, we're not talking about him enough, is one of the great players in college basketball this season.
Well, I'm going to start in the West with the story everybody wants, and that's Coach K to make it to another Final Four. Banchero, 19 points against Michigan State. He's their best player, needs to be their best player if they're going to beat Gonzaga and Texas Tech. And then you've got Mark Williams blocking 10 shots so far in this tournament, the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. Love him at 4-1. Next up, UCLA. I'm still waiting for Johnny Juzang, who led UCLA to the Final Four, to break out of his slump. I think it happens in the Sweet 16. I like UCLA. Next up, Arizona. Again, so disrespected, a small line against Houston. They've got all kinds of NBA players, probably 4 on their roster. I'm taking them. And then my sleeper, we saw it last year with an 11 seed, Iowa State. Isaiah Brockington, remember that name, 6-1. They're going to the Final Four.
All right, you guys, let's get right to it. Same drill here for the national championship pick. We're going to go around the horn, get each of your picks. You see the NCAA championship odds right there on your screen. Dave, who are you going with to cut down the nets in New Orleans?
I'm going with Arizona. They're going to have to play really big when they match up against Gonzaga in the final, but they have the big men to be able to do that. Christian Coloco can go up with 2 bigs from Gonzaga and get the job done.
Matchups matter in the NCAA tournament, and Kansas has the easiest path to get to the Final Four. They could face an upstart in the Elite Eight, and I think Providence is actually an easier game for them among all the favorites to have an opportunity to make it to the next level. I feel like that Kansas at 5-1 has the fewest number of challenges to make it all the way to the end.
And you are addicted to the Big 12, and you are obsessed with sucking up to Lisa, and that's why you're making that pick. I'm going with UCLA. All that experience. I just feel like they've got so many options. Tiger Campbell, such a good point guard, and I love the value at 15-1.
Beware of the fog, guys. All right, so we have the championship picks. Now let's take a closer look at the odds for the player who will be named the tournament's most outstanding player here. 2 Gonzaga players, the top 2 favorites right now. Dave, who's winning this award?
Well, if you like Arizona, you would have to think it's going to be Mathurin, but it's not. It's going to be Christian Coloco. Shot blocking and his scoring has really improved as well.
Pony, I am a believer in the Big 12, and I'm a believer in kissing up to Lisa, so it's Ochai Agbaji for Kansas.
Yeah.
We barely talked about Purdue. I just think the value for Ivy, and they can get there. I'm not predicting it, but if they do, he'll be the MOP. He's a great player.
I'm taking all the love. I'm just going to all right here. I'm handing out the love, too. Before we go, I wanted to remind you of a fun offer for FanDuel Casino players 21 and older in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Michigan, Connecticut, and West Virginia. The Casino 5-on-5 is here, and you can score up to $25 in casino sites credit. Here is how it works. Place a bet of $5 or more on the NCAA tournament. You're going to get a $5 credit in your casino account. It is as easy as that. You can do that a total of 5 times during the tournament. Only 1 eligible bet is allowed per day. So make sure to come back each round and each day and match up to continue to claim more. It is the FanDuel Casino app. Always love having you with us. That is a wrap here. Let the March Madness continue. For Dave, Ed, and Pony, I'm Lisa Kerney. Thanks for hanging with us here on FanDuel Sportsbook's More Ways to Win. This is the tournament edition, guys. We'll all be back here next week to get you ready for the next round of games. That show will stream on FanDuel platforms on Wednesday, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, airing on TVG, on linear TV, as the lingo is here in TV, at the same time as well. Again, that's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time on Wednesday. FanDuel platforms as well as TVG. We're going to see you right back here. Enjoy the Sweet 16 games, you guys. We've got some awesome hoops ahead of us given what we had in the first 2 rounds. So I'm pretty psyched for what we're about to get here in the Sweet 16.
We've got some gentlemen's wagers, too, with Providence and Kansas, don't we?
Yeah, and Pony talking smack. Yeah, get that stuff ready for you. Get that stuff ready for the next show next week. We'll see you guys right back here in our LA studio. Enjoy the games. Good luck with your bets.